Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are setting aside the usual spreadsheets and satellites.
We are.
We're going straight into philosophy, and we're drawing from this really beautiful collection of sources called Animali Straordinari, which translates to extraordinary animals.
That's right. And our mission today is to go, a bit beyond just simple observation.
Right.
We're trying to extract the profound, often very quiet wisdom that the author finds in the natural world.
So we're looking at how animals function as, what does the text call them? Silent masters.
Silent masters, exactly. Offering us these immediate, totally unvarnished lessons on how to live a fuller life.
It's a pretty compelling promise, isn't it? That these silent masters are already holding up a mirror to us, showing us what we are versus, what we pretend to be. And this whole philosophy seems to hinge on a concept from the prologue, the invisible language of animals.
It's the absolute starting block. And what's critical here is that this language is invisible because it exists completely outside of our vocabulary.
So it's not sounds or symbols.
Yeah, not at all. It's communication that is just pure, inherent existence. Animals are just immersed in it. They don't learn it. They certainly don't forget it.
It's almost like their operating system. They're not trying to communicate. They just are communicating.
Exactly. And the crucial connection the source makes is that an animal's presence, its entire being, is based on what we are, not what we say.
So you can tell a dog you're not scared, but
it will never believe you because it's reading your physical truth.
that sets the stage perfectly for the foundational teaching, which is living completely in the present moment.
Yes.
The text keeps reminding us that these creatures, they don't postpone joy, they don't conserve rancor, and they don't build future fears.
They just live what's happening while it's happening. It's such a radical rejection of, the human condition.
I mean, think about the psychological toll we carry around.
Oh, constantly. Archiving old slights or pre-worrying about things that might not even happen. The text suggests animals operate completely outside of that system. For them, history is over the second it ends.
And the future.
The future just doesn't exist until it arrives.
Okay, but I have to push back a little on that idea of rancor.
Go on.
When a dog, for example, runs back to us after we've been harsh, is that really forgiveness? Or are we just, anthropomorphizing a short memory span?
Yeah.
Survival instinct.
That's a really fair point. But the philosophy framed by the author isn't so much about the dog's neurology.
Okay.
It's about the lesson for the human who is receiving that gesture. It's focused on the practical reality of living with il cuore che cammina accanto a te, the heart that walks beside you.
Ah, I see. So the dog's lack of a grudge is like this constant performance of grace that we're supposed to internalize.
Precisely. Their role isn't just to occupy a spot on the rug. It's to fundamentally transform the energy of the space around them.
Through that constant, silent, faithful presence.
Yes. The text really emphasizes that living with a dog is a masterclass in the value of the present because they force you into immediate reconciliation. If you have a fight, the next minute is a clean start. The past has no emotional weight.
So if the dog is that unreserved heart constantly available, then the cat offers this beautiful, necessary counterpoint. The source calls them I Maestri del Silencio.
Masters of silence.
Yeah.
And that title just says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cats enter your life with this incredible discretion, and the key distinction is they don't ask for your attention.
They grant it.
They grant it, exactly.
That reframing is so powerful. It teaches us about earned respect, about healthy boundaries.
Their approach is always a choice. It's based on trust, not dependency or need. If a cat chooses to be near you, it's a testament to your stillness, to your presence.
It goes right back to that invisible language. The cat trusts what you are in that moment.
It does, and there's a fascinating detail in the text about their purr. It's noted that the simple vibration of a cat purring actually helps to calm human stress and pain.
Wow. So they are active healers just by being themselves.
On their own terms.
That moves us perfectly into the second major theme. Animals is these hyper-perceptive emotional sensors.
Yes, they're not just reacting to our moods.
No, they're perceiving them on a level we can't even articulate ourselves.
It's like they have access to the raw data of our nervous system. The source says dogs perceive emotions before we can even define them. They read the pre-emotional state.
Okay, let's unpack that. How? What are the specific subtle cues they're picking up on?
They're reading our physiology in real time. For example, they can recognize fatigue just by the tiny shifts in how you walk.
A change in your gait.
A change in your gait that signals you're burdened. Or they perceive sadness by the rhythm of your breath. If it's shallow or uneven, it immediately signals internal stress, no matter what happy words you're saying.
So if the invisible language is what we are, then dogs are the ultimate incorruptible interpreters of our biological truth.
It's a system of radical honesty. Our words lie, but our breath and our gait almost never do. This is why dogs are such profound sensors of stress. They bypass the front we put up and go straight to the source.
That's incredible. But if dogs are reading our stress, the text highlights horses as something even deeper. It calls them specchi dell'anima,
Mirrors of the soul.
mirrors of the soul.
And this is where the self-regulation lesson becomes paramount. The source suggests horses feel what a human feels before the human even knows it themselves.
They're anticipatory emotional mirrors. So how is their listening different? If a dog reads the breath, what's the horse tuned into?
The author describes their listening as being tuned specifically to breaths, not words. And, get this, the text states they can perceive the human heartbeat.
Whoa.
And they have a deep emotional memory. So if you approach a horse while you're anxious, your heart rate, your breath, they're spiking. The horse reflects that anxiety right back at you.
Forcing you to regulate your own internal landscape before they'll engage.
Exactly. The horse doesn't just register your stress, it mirrors it back until you fix the source code. It's the ultimate non-judgmental feedback loop.
So let's build on that. If the horse teaches us to regulate our inner world, our next group of silent masters shows us how that discipline translates into world-shaping action.
It's a necessary shift from internal emotion to tangible purpose. And we have to start with the bees. They're called l'architecte del mondo.
The architects of the world.
And this moves us beyond personal emotion and into the philosophy of collective focused purpose.
The lesson here is so profound, especially now in our sort of hyper-individualized world. The text says the bee does not live for itself.
Not at all. Its entire existence is dedicated to the equilibrium of the whole planet.
It really challenges our whole notion of self-interest. A bee's purpose is just intrinsic to its being. We search for purpose externally, but the bee simply is its purpose.
And the consequence of that one small, dedicated action is immense.
Immense is the right word. The text warns us that without their flight connecting flowers and seasons, a majority of plant life would simply disappear.
Their work is literally foundational to our existence. And the text gives these wonderful curiosities, too. They communicate with complex dances, they can recognize human faces.
And they pollinate most of the food we eat. It just shows that quiet, deep dedication is often the most powerful force in the world.
It really is.
So from the collective builder, we go to the individual master strategist, the fox, described as l'intelligenza que si adatta.
Intelligence that adapts. And the lesson here is pure resilience. It shows that success doesn't require force, but intuition. Flexibility.
This feels like a lesson in strategy. The fox operates on the margins between the city and the country and adapts without losing its identity.
It doesn't waste energy fighting battles it can't win. Instead, it turns what it cannot control into an opportunity.
That's the difference, isn't it? It's not just opportunism, it's true strategic adaptation. The fox isn't defined by its environment, it uses the environment.
And let's not forget the beavers, gli ingegneri dell'acqua.
The engineers of the water.
They are the ultimate ecosystem builders. Every single dam they build creates new life, modifying water courses, turning streams into these complex wetland habitats.
So mindful, focused action, a bee's flight, a beaver's dam, is what sustains the world. The silent masters are just constantly working.
Demanding nothing, simply being their purpose. And this brings us to the book's really profound conclusion.
Right.
All these lessons, presence, self-regulation, purpose, they all lead to an understanding of our human responsibility.
And the text is very clear that this is not about sentimental romance, is it?
Absolutely not. The author says loving animals is not a romantic indulgence. It is a conscious choice of responsibility.
And their core request is so simple.
Shockingly simple. They don't ask to be understood. They ask to be left to be.
Left to be themselves.
Yeah.
To exist without our need to constantly intervene or dominate. They show us how to live without masks, without all the calculations.
Their life doesn't need our validation to have value.
Yeah.
And that radical simplicity is what defines the respect we owe them.
So what does that look like practically?
It means we have to slow down when we want to rush, observe when we want to intervene, and really listen when we only want to speak. It forces us into a posture of humility.
So the respect we show them is actually a form of self-preservation. Why should you, the listener, care so deeply about protecting a bee or respecting a fox?
Because, And this is the ultimate reason. When we choose to respect and love animals, we are actively choosing to protect a fragile part of ourselves.
The part of us that still responds to the invisible language.
Yes. The part that can still be moved by a silent glance, by a presence that asks for absolutely nothing in return.
And that quiet, non-demanding exchange is maybe the last bastion against our own chronic complexity.
It is. The final reflection of the source material drives it home. We can't save the world alone, but every single time we respect an animal space, we make the world a place more worthy of being inhabited.
It really brings us full circle. The silent masters are modeling a life free of the burden we choose to carry.
The absence of rancor, the elimination of future fears, that perfect presence in the rhythm of your own breath.
So what does this extraordinary wisdom mean for you, the listener, as you move on with your day?
Well, if the animal's core teaching is to live by that invisible language, a life defined by being, not by anxiety, then what single piece of emotional baggage, what single fear or anxiety might you choose to consciously set down today? I challenge you to consider that specific weight you're carrying and recognize that it is the antithesis of the effortless present tense existence that the silent masters are constantly modeling for us.
A profound challenge to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the extraordinary wisdom of the natural world. Keep observing, keep listening, and maybe keep challenging yourself to live a little more like the silent masters around you. We'll see you next time.